Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. That's it? Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yes. Inflection all over the place. Woggle. Bless up all your whole selves. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good Wednesday morning. It's another wonderful day to have another wonderful day. It is August 11th, 2021. And I am so very happy and honored to be here with you this morning. Thank you for starting your Wednesday off with us here at Classic and GBN, whichever platform you're using. Those of you on the GBN, Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11, and 20. Good morning to the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9, and all the folks joining us on Party Grenada and Go to Fet Facebook pages. Our viewers and listeners across the Caribbean, whichever part of the region you are, a spicy Grenadian 473 morning to each and every one of you. And to those of you joining us internationally, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Hope you will have a good day, are having a good day, have had a good day. 20 minutes on to 7 o'clock. Let's get right into this morning's word of the day. Hold on. All right, where was I? Let me go. This morning's word of the day is abject. Abject. It's spelled A-B-J-E-C-T. Abject. It's an adjective which means sunk to or existing in a low state or condition, very bad or severe, cast down in spirit, showing hopelessness or resignation, or expressing or offered in a humble and often ingratiating spirit. Abject, not object. Abject. It comes from the Latin word which means downcast, humble, or sordid, the past participle of the Latin verb which means to cast off. Its original meaning in English was cast off or rejected, but it is now used to refer more broadly to things in a low state or condition. Abject shares with mean, ignoble, and sordid the sense of being below the normal standards of human decency and dignity. The word of the day this morning is abject, A-B-J-E-C-T, an adjective which means sunk to or existing in a low state or condition, very bad or severe, cast down in spirit, showing hopelessness or resignation, expressing or offered in a humble and often ingratiating spirit. An example of the use of the word: the youth offered an abject apology for his misdeed. Another example of the use of the word: periodically we're moved to outrage, even boycott, by revelations of the abject conditions in which certain items are produced. Then we move on. Word of the day this morning, abject, A-B-J-E-C-T, an adjective which means sunk to or existing in a low state or condition, very bad or severe, cast down in spirit, showing hopelessness or resignation, expressing or offered in a humble and often ingratiating spirit. Abject. That's the word of the day on this wonderful Wednesday. And straight into this morning's thought of today. I like this one. This morning's thought of the day is: sometimes we are not meant to recover, only transform. Sometimes we are not meant to recover, only transform. Some moments, some opportunities, some events, some activities are meant to help us bounce back, dust yourself off and try again. But then there are others that are meant to change us, transform us, develop us, help us advance. You just need to learn to identify the difference. So it's not everything that you have to try again. It's not everything you have to go at it again. Sometimes it's you that needs to be transformed. Sometimes we are not meant to recover, only transform. That's the thought of today, and think about it, meditate on it a little bit, and I'm sure you can come up with a situation where you'll be like, sometimes we are not meant to recover, only transform. All right, let's see what is celebrated today. Yes, let's do what is celebrated today. What is celebrated today? Today it is Son and Daughter Day. Son and Daughter Day. This love-centric family holiday reminds us to take a step back from the whirlwind of paying the bills, surviving current events, and meeting what seem to be thousands of daily obligations and spend some time with our children. This day is a time to go ahead and spoil the children just a little bit. Be a grandparent ahead of time for a day and remind the kids that through all the ascents and descents of mayhem and joy, and however they've turned out so far, they're the greatest loves of your life. Sons and Daughters Day. Spend some little extra time with the loved ones, with the little ones. We always go helter-skelter and we barely spend some good quality time, some family time with the children. Now is a great opportunity to do so, a great reminder of how important it is to spend quality time with the little people who look up to us. Male, female, boys, girls, grandparents, parents, even aunts and uncles that play mommy and daddy roles. This is a great day to spend some time with sons and daughters. Maybe play a little game, watch their favorite show. Don't be in your own world on your phone, on your book, or whatever else you do on the evenings. Just spend some quality time with daughter and son today, doing some family-centric activities. Son and Daughter Day. Remind them they're the greatest loves of your life. There's some little blessings, some little humans, some expensive little humans, but there's some loving little humans. So spend some time with son and daughter today. All right, now let's get ready for the morning edition of news. For those of you on radio and those of you on our visual platforms, we bring you highlights of last evening's newscast. Good morning, Grenada, on a wonderful Wednesday. We'll be right back.
We gonna do this one like Olympics. With a Digicel Prime bundle, get double the dedicated SportsMax data to enjoy the greatest sports event happening now. Live in the SportsMax app. Get a 30-day Digicel Prime bundle today in the My Digicel app. Digicel, better together.
Get Rubigas. Get cooking. Rubigas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Rubigas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100 pound cylinders. Rubigas LPG. Clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Rubigas?
Get Rubis, get going.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements? Or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
No
demon pronouncement this year, but the actions remained the same. The St. Patrick's residents descended into the main commercial area dabbed in black and other jab uniforms. Calls from their Member of Parliament to refrain from violating the Cancellation of Carnival Act fell on deaf ears. Trelawny Charles was on hand for the unofficial Juve in the parish this morning.
On Monday, we saw a massive jab ban on the streets of St. Andrew. And today, on what would normally be Carnival Tuesday, once again, Grenadians have taken to the streets, this time the streets of Sates, in a massive display of defiance against the cancellation of Carnival 2021.
Hundreds of jab moved through the streets of Sates in a wave of black. Once again, the jab proved that regardless of the cancellation of the Carnival holiday and restriction of mass gatherings, jab will play.
We start this strong city, and we are 10,000 strong. We are going strong, and we will keep going strong until the pandemic is over. You can't stop jab.
One reveller explained that the presence of jab in the town is not a sign of disobedience or disrespect, but a sign of Grenadians embracing some much-needed freedom.
You must understand that people are designed to be free. We're not domesticated animals, so when it's time to free up, we have to obey every instruction of the leader of Grenada. We respect him, he is our boss. And I also believe every decision I take is in the best interest of Grenadians. But you must remember, you must attend to your domestic supporters before you attend to your international supporters.
He made a call for the leaders and decision makers of the country to give consideration to the needs of Grenadians first.
The Jamaican always think they say dance here before you dance abroad. And therefore, it's we who are responsible for electing you in office. And you must attend to our needs, our grievances. The job is not violation against the man, the job is freedom. As to say we need to enjoy ourselves. Just 2 days. Out of 365 days, we obey you. Just 2 days we ask of you to just allow us to be Grenadians. You want to kill us, sir?
The emergence of jab has now occurred on both Carnival Monday and Tuesday. Now that Grenadians have reclaimed both days of Mass, it is not yet known if it will be back to normal programming going forward.
Reporting from Sates St. Patrick, I am Trelawny Charles.
Yesterday, there was a standoff at Paradise Bridge. Today, revelers were ordered to stand back as police officers took strategic actions to prevent revelers in St. Patrick from accessing the town of Sates. Let's toss once again to our roving reporter, Trelawny Charles.
No entry into the upper tongue of Sates. That was the main restriction given to all jab on Tuesday morning as they attempted to participate in the usual Carnival Tuesday revelry despite the cancellation of Carnival 2021. Officers of the Royal Grenada Police Force manned barricades at strategic locations within the town to ensure that the back roads would be used by the jab participants, leaving the main road at the top of the town clear for regular business. Assistant Superintendent in charge of the Western Division, Paul Christopher, said the RGPF is focused on ensuring that there is no defacing of private property or other unruly behavior.
What we are doing is basically to put some sort of regulation in place as to what persons are going to engage into this morning in particular. So this morning we recognize that they coming from High Street side and they are actually coming down, but we are somewhat encouraging them, trying to get the ringleaders and try to avoid the tongue proper. And in my view, they have been cooperating quite nicely. So we had asked them to use the back street and they have been doing that so far.
He said the police have had no issue with rerouting efforts and hope to ensure that there is no significant disturbance for individuals embarking on their normal business day.
It is a business day, and the most we can avoid them from getting through this business area, it definitely will be important, because other persons want to do what they want to do. Persons want to go to the banks, persons want to go to the store, and they want to conduct their other business. So we are looking for all parties to coexist, and so we are assisting in this regard, and we want everybody, be it the job, be it the business persons, the banks will be open, and we want to encourage that we have to coexist.
According to Assistant Superintendent Christopher, it is their hope that the gathering can be retained to the lower part of Sates.
So in this regard, we will be engaging those persons, ask them to use the back street where they can go down to the bottom end of the town, called Low Town, basically. So where they may not be causing much obstruction, so to speak. But in terms of the business area, we're trying our best to cause them to avoid using this area, and hence the reason why we are here. You are seeing us, man. We are engaging them. We are having conversations with them and asking them, letting them know of the importance of what is happening.
As the morning proceeded, the revelers continued to cooperate with law enforcement and remained at Lower Sates. Trelona Charles, GBN News.
Over in St. David, Monday's pockets of mass were not enough. On Tuesday, scores of black-coated jab-jabs made Latant their social gathering point rather than observing the social distancing regulations. Jara Joseph was on hand as the masqueraders engaged in their fun and frolic.
The action continues on Carnival Tuesday, what is celebrated as Carnival Tuesday, and as you can see in the background, Latant is hot with jab. Despite the cancellation of Spice Mass 2021, Carnival Tuesday in St. David saw another group of revelers flock to Latant Junction. As was the case in St. Andrew on Monday, police were waiting to intercept the revelers. The pungent smell of oil oil was evident, and the streets glistened from the reflections created by the paints and other substance used by the revelers. There seemed to have been a method to the madness, as those jumping and chanting were limited to one segment of the street, while spectators and onlookers were confined to the other. GBN attempted to engage some of those who decided to participate in the frolic, but they declined. Some persons told GBN that they understood that the police had upped their game this year and have been using video footage as evidence, and as such, they did not want to give any interviews. Others hurled abuses at the GBN, accusing the network of gathering evidence on behalf of the police. A roadblock was also set up just before entering Latant Junction. While Latant seemed to have been the melting pot for St. David, there were smaller pockets of activities in other areas, including Rukane Junction. Just as the saying goes, Sates have it, Latant Junction has it, St. David's has it, and it is Day 2 Carnival Tuesday. Jab Jab is on the streets.
The large number of people who gathered at the various Juve celebrations has given rise to concern about the level of unemployment in the country. Commentary has focused on what percentage of those who congregated for the festivities on Monday and Tuesday are gainfully employed. Some allude to a large cross-section being unemployed, hence their ability to contravene the public holiday cancellations. However, cultural activist Randall Robinson says a scan of the crowds reveals a diverse mix of participants.
I looked at that. There are employed people who have taken time off to go and play job too. I mean, people working in classic organizations who are part of the rebellion, right? So there is that. I hope they took leave. I was looking at the demographic. So it's the young, right? A lot of young. You have middle-aged. We have, adults, right? And you have older people. I am seeing some people who seem to be like in their 50s, among the crowd. So it's across the board, Blossom, which is very telling.
While discussion has mostly honed in on the defiance displayed by some persons in recent days and weekends, some are pointing to a cultural DNA which seems to reside in the veins of some Grenadians. Observers note that revelers have mostly kept their activities free of violence, which is an indication that all they wanted was an opportunity to participate in activities akin to the two traditional bank holidays. Last night, some youngsters who gathered on the roadside with their musical instruments said they were engaged in a game of pretense that they were having their own Monday night mass. Several old mass costumes have also surfaced, and so too were a few pretty mass displays. The Jobs have been chanting his name. We want Tilly is what they have been saying. They are referencing former Prime Minister Tillman Thomas. But is he willing to answer the call? Well, we'll find out in this Cherry and Blackman Stephen report.
This was one of the chants by some revelers as they took to the streets to enjoy Carnival Monday and Tuesday, a continuation of prior weeks of village activities with repeated jabs at the nation's leader. The name of former Prime Minister Tillman Thomas was pulled into the chant as a call for his return, and one he says he's willing to accept.
The call that the masqueraders are making today is a call for better governance. And when they compare the NNP with the NDC, they're saying that, look, when Tillman Thomas was Prime Minister, the country was better governed. In essence, that's what they're saying. So it's more a call for the NDC type of governance. A new face in NDC could also demonstrate that type of governance.
Mr. Thomas believes that the Grenadian people are becoming more disenchanted with the present leadership of the country and is looking to a leader that brings calm, opportunities, and hope to the people.
It is really a dissatisfaction with the present administration. The people are expressing their dissatisfaction with the manner in which the country is being governed today. Disrespect for the people, disrespect for our institutions, and they know that under my leadership, they were respected, the institutions were respected, and the country was governed with transparency. So this is a call for better governance. And the name they associate with better governance, it appears to be Tillman Thomas.
Mr. Thomas says while he is willing to work with various organizations, he will only associate himself with the National Democratic Congress. Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
Foreign Trade Minister Oliver Joseph is warning that government faces an uphill climb on the fiscal front as it gets ready to make outstanding payments to public officers and teachers. Let's get the details from Rena Pierre-Thomas.
Foreign Affairs Minister Oliver Joseph went into explanatory mode on Tuesday as the government seeks to head off potential commentary on its pending payment to public servants. The disbursement will be made at the end of this month based on agreements reached during the mediation process. The government estimates that the settlement will cost more than $1 million. Joseph says this will plunge the country into further debt.
In terms of the performance of the economy from January to June, Cabinet did get a report from the Ministry of Finance. And while the revenue situation is increasing, I can tell you that the expenditure is above the revenue. And that is not a good situation because it means that you're in a deficit. And for the last 5 years, we were not in a deficit position. But for the first time, due to COVID and the impact on revenue, we are in a deficit position now.
As a result, Minister Joseph highlights the need for urgent growth in revenue. According to him, the country is in the red at the moment as it suffers from increased expenditure. He told the media that although there has been an uptick in recent months, this has not been enough to head off the government's expenses.
And in addition to that, we have to add this month a $1.2 million to the current wage bill for public sector, which will put us into a further deficit unless we have increased performance on the revenue collection side. So the situation from January to June has not returned to the post-2020 or 2019 period because we're using the base year as 2019.
While the government ties its increased spending to the payment which are owed to teachers and public officers, observers are not buying the argument. Trade unionists point to the fact that government has found the fiscal space for other cash outlays, some of which were brought about by unnecessary actions such as the repurchase of Grenada. For GBN News, I am Rena Pierre-Thomas reporting.
A huge wad of cash is earmarked for it, but is it the real solution? The question has surfaced multiple times in the past 6 days following the announcement of a $14 million injection into the debushing program. Cherry and Blackman Stephen has been speaking with Mr. Dennis Canning, who has large swaths of farmlands and has been engaged in infrastructural development projects.
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell recently announced an injection of just over $14 million into the debushing program. However, such investment is being brutally criticized by senior agriculturalist Dennis Canning, who is now urging government to focus on real agricultural development, particularly towards addressing the widespread wastage of agricultural produce. He believes that the pandemic provides the best opportunity for Grenada to reclaim its position pertaining to agriculture agricultural development and export.
All those estates have gone now to wastelands, not unproductive, not what, and you have the bushing, where government holds all these estate lands where it can be done for production of fruits and vegetables and agricultural products, really for export. And you have to wonder who is in charge. Are they seeing what we can do with our lands that are so rich?
In his national address last week, Prime Minister Mitchell said that over the next 10 fortnights, more than 3,000 Grenadians will be dispatched to assigned areas across roadsides and drains.
These workers will be divided into 7-member crews, which will be monitored by a group of over 128 supervisors, each of whom will be assigned 3 crews. I've gone a step further and authorized the creation of a hotline where reports can be made in the event that the true intention of the program is not being followed.
Canning manages over 30 acres of agricultural lands and has invested over $2.5 million in agricultural access roads in St. Patrick and St. Andrew. Canning disclosed that the concept of debushing began as far back as Gary administration and was never meant to be carried on as a solution to unemployment.
And I'm amazed that they make it a prominent part of our economic activities. It just shows you that in truth and in fact we have no thinkers. Everything we're doing here now is what could give the people the impression that government is giving them employment, where in truth and in fact government is wasting the labor force of the country.
The debushing program has been one of the main features of the limited old mass depictions in this year's unofficial carnival. The announcement of a debushing hotline has become the subject of several memes. Reporting for GBN News, Anayaka Alexander, trainee reporter.
August 11th and 18th are dates for the 2-hour forum, which is themed Taking Agriculture Forward. It is the latest initiative by the Grenada Broadcasting Network in the form of a 2-part agricultural forum. Host Godfrey Augustin says the forum is geared at continuing to raise awareness, which has stemmed from GBN's weekly program, Simply Agriculture.
So we have engaged 6 experts in the field of agriculture to address different aspects of it. We will be talking primarily on the importance of agriculture and some of the opportunities that are available. We'll also be talking about agricultural support. We will be speaking about agricultural extension. We will be speaking about challenges facing the sector. We will also get a farmer's perspective on the whole issue. In other words, the role of the farmer and the expectation of the farmer. And we'll also look at the area of policy. And dealing with that, we have Senator Roderick St. Clair who will be joining us. We have Mr. Donald Williams from the Grenada Development Bank who will speak on support and management. Dr. Tessa Barry, she's an extensionist and also a consultant for the FAO, so she will be dealing on the importance of agriculture and opportunities.
Women are finally having a spotlight shone on their entrepreneurial skills. As we will hear from Krista Campbell, Republic Bank is finding creative ways to shine the light onto their developmental path.
Republic Bank has partnered with BPD Associates Limited to launch its first ever Entrepreneurs Business Builder program. The program, which was launched on August 9th, aims to assist established women entrepreneurs with creating technology-enabled, sustainable, and profitable businesses. The group-wide initiative will bring together in one virtual space 150 women entrepreneurs from around the Caribbean region, as the program will be facilitated in Anguilla, Barbados, British Virgin Islands, Dominica, Grenada, Guyana, St. Martin, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Trinidad and Tobago, and Suriname. The mixed mode program will run in 2 phases. Phase 1 allows for self-paced online learning, interactive group sessions with facilitators, and opportunities for community-driven networking. The top 20 women from Phase 1 will move on to Phase 2, where participants will receive customized guidance and mentorship to implement plans into the daily operations of their businesses. Commenting on the launch, Executive Director of Republic Financial Holdings Limited, Mr. Darwin Howell, said that, quote, by training female entrepreneurs to create avenues for technological advancement and innovation in their business practices, and by ensuring that these practices are environmentally safe and sustainable, they will ensure that the future of our Caribbean is in good hands, unquote. Women who are interested in becoming a part of the first cohort of the Entrepreneur Business Builder program can get more information via the bank's website. Krista Campbell, GBN News.
Imagine having the home of your dreams. Imagine investing in that piece of property you can call your own. Imagine finally doing that home improvement project you've always been thinking about. It's time to stop imagining and start doing. Let the GUT Credit Union help you take the first step with fantastic rates, affordable repayments, and reduced legal fees. Make the move. Get better terms on your mortgage. Use your home equity to make those dreams a reality. Act now. There's really no place like home. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Ultratech gasoline and diesel, available only at Rubis stations.
Hubbard's big promotion is back. Live free for 1 year. Spend $50 or more in any Hubbard's department and receive a chance to win big prizes every month. Property or vehicle insurance for 1 year. Free internet, cable, and data for 1 year. Free fuel for 1 year. Free cooking gas for 1 year. Free electricity for 1 year. Free drinks for 1 year. Extra cash account and the big free groceries for 1 year. Promotion runs from April 1st to September 30th, 2021. Live free for 1 year with Hubbard's in association with Solgas, Flow, Grenadian General Insurance, Carib Brewery, Coca-Cola, Grenada Bottling Company, Grenlec, Communal Cooperative Credit Union, Dutch Lady Milk, Promo, Danny and Supreme. Terms and conditions apply.
When a loved one passes on, we all need the comfort, support, and guidance of a trusted friend. You can rely on LaCour Brothers Funeral Home. We provide a personalized professional service that exceeds all expectations. Our dedicated staff responds to your every need with the greatest detail, ensuring affordability with a variety of options. Our upgraded state-of-the-art facilities, spacious air-conditioned chapel with live internet streaming, a modern, environmentally safe crematorium, the only of its kind on island, private viewing spaces, large on-site repast center, a modern transportation fleet. Join our burial society today and make personalized arrangements for that final moment as you prepare to enter your loved one into eternal rest. Visit or call LaCour Brothers Funeral Home and select a package that brings added comfort to the entire family. LaCour Brothers Funeral Home and Burial Society, continuing a tradition of excellence.
Are you
looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 418-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health. GBN, in association with the Grenada Development Bank and the Agricultural Shop, presents the GBN exclusive Taking Agriculture Forward, a two-part 2-hour forum on August 11th and 18th from 8 p.m. on GBN Television 7 and 11, K105 FM, and on all GBN's social media platforms. This forum will discuss primary agriculture and opportunities, agricultural extension and support, challenges facing the sector, and policies and food system sustainability. Join us on August 11th and 18th as we speak to the experts on taking agriculture forward.
Hey folks, you're invited to tune in to Grenada Music to the World program hosted by Eugene Gittens on Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. to 12 noon on Classic Radio 105.5, 105.9, Hot FM 98.5, 98.7, GBN TV, and all their social media platforms. The only totally local music program in Grenada, representing all genres of music. So it's Green's Music to the World on Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. to 12 noon on GBN with the music icon himself, Mr. Eugene Gittens.
So much for sticking with us, those of you for your patience, and those of you just joining us, happy to have you. Let's get straight into this morning's discussion. Joining me virtually this morning is Backcall President. I have it right, Dr. Antoine? President, You do. All right. Dr. Patrick Antoine is joining me this morning, and this morning we're not talking TGM. This morning we are talking some matters that money matters. Let's put it that way. Backhaul, aka British American, that is a situation that has been going on for years, and it is currently in legal proceedings. So Dr. Antoine is here to give us some information and some of the latest that are taking place. Good morning, Dr. Antoine. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Good morning to all the competent, beautiful and committed people at GBN, and to, of course, my lovely people in Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique this morning.
I like the description. For it. I support it to 100%. Dr. Antoine, what's the latest you can give us in relation to this BICO matter? Because it has been going on for some time, and I know a lot of people are anxiously waiting for some good news. What can you tell us?
Yeah, well, good morning again, and I thank you for the opportunity. So the reality is that in 2015, we started this organization called Backhaul, the British American Policyholders, British American and CLECO Policyholders Group in Grenada. In October 2015, we actually registered this entity as an NGO. And the sole purpose of the NGO was to recover the investments in British American and CLECO that policyholders in Grenada had made prior to the collapse of the CLF empire. in 2009. So 2009 important. 2015 we established this policyholders group where we recognized that it was important for policyholders themselves to take their destiny in their own hands and to start essentially using the avenues provided for in the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas, which is a unique avenue for private entities to take matters regarding their grievances with governments to court, to the CCJ in the original jurisdiction. We know that there's been tremendous anxiety since 2000, and I want to say about 19, because we've not felt as policyholders that there was tremendous progress, but it was only due to the fact that we've had just enormous difficulties getting the evidence to actually make key linkages in this case. And so the good news this morning, the first bit of good news, is that having adduced the evidence as best as we could get it, which I have to say is extremely strong, we've been able to get the support of several, legally so. We've had to go through several legal hoops to get items of evidence, for instance, that I can't get into, and I do mean we've had to go through legal hoops to get evidence. We were able to get all the evidence adduced, I want to say, in about April, between May and June. And we filed the case on the 13th of July, 2021. So shortly after we got all the evidence together to make the linkages, the case has been filed with the CCJ. And what's happened in the intervening period, I think, is extremely important because it's a first. What we recognized based on legal counsel is that it was important for us to make this an OECS-wide initiative. And so that backhaul that started in Grenada, we've now expanded it to include Antigua and Barbuda, and they came on board in 2019, and they're really fully functioning as a member with us. And we have since extended it to include all of the OECS, so that this initiative that started in Grenada is now extended to policyholders in St. Kitts and Nevis, in Montserrat, in Antigua, in Dominica, in St. Lucia, in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada. So we have 7 countries now covered. So this arrangement covers the entire OECS and all the OECS policyholders. So I think that's the second important bit of news, because we want to approach the court as a broad cross-section of OECS civilization, so that the court understands the burden of the decision that they will make where this is concerned. So we think that these are 2 important developments. And the third is that the judicial manager recently circulated a letter where he informed all the policyholders in the Eastern Caribbean of Backhaul's efforts through the CCJ to recover the funds of the policyholders. And the judicial manager clearly would not have done that if they didn't feel that there was a prayer in hell, put it that way. I would say strong chance that this was not the appropriate action. And that really is the third bit of news. So every policyholder everywhere in the OECS is now aware of the opportunity that we have presented using the approach that started in Grenada in October 2015. And I think that's powerful for our civilization.
What do you think are the chances of coming out with good news for the policyholders?
We believe that we have presented the best case possible, that we have really examined and developed important areas of law that we're going to present to the court to take to make a determination on. So we think we have an extremely strong legal case. And of course, our case has been made by about 60-something professionals working together, from the lawyers to the accountants to the trade economists to the people who've done research for us to, tax people recently. We have, Grenadian national, who I can't name, working on some forensic tax issues for us to answer a question just in case it comes that way in pushback to the case that we've made. We've left no stone unturned. Our case has been led by Simon Davenport of Three Hare Court, really one of the top chambers in the UK. His junior is Robert Strang. The 2 of them have done perhaps more cases. His chambers, Three Hare Court, have done more cases in the Eastern Caribbean and in the Caribbean than perhaps any other law chamber in the UK. So they're really well reflected in terms of their work, and they've worked with some of the leading attorneys in the region. We have the second most important, let me just say, recognized commercial law firm in Trinidad and Tobago, Hamill Smith, Gregory Pantin and his team working with us. We have Dr. Kenny Anthony, who everyone knows as the ex-Prime Minister, but more importantly for us, as the first General Counsel in CARICOM under the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas, and also as perhaps one of the most accomplished constitutional law professors that we've had, of course, recognizing and taking nothing from smiling our own Dr. Francis Alexis, who I think Dr. Anthony would have learned lots from. But Kenny Anthony is just a phenomenal attorney, and we've benefited a lot from him. So he's on our team, and he's helping us a lot with both the legal arguments in all areas, but also in terms of strategy. We have a young, bright attorney, Rafaela Joda, who is working with us on community law. We have several others. And then in every country, we have case managers who are helping us to steady the administrative operations of backhaul in each country. So in each country, you now have a battery of lawyers working with us there with the policyholders in those countries. And so we believe that with the team that we have, with the case that we've put forward, and with the broad cross-section of OECS civilization coming on board with us, because people are coming on board in numbers in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, people are coming on board in numbers in St. Kitts and Nevis, people are coming on board in numbers in Dominica, where we've only just opened the opportunity as at the second week, I believe, of July. And what we're seeing is that the numbers we are targeting will take us, we believe, in terms of our forecast. When I say what we're seeing, I'm talking about our forecast. Close to about 80% of all policyholders across the Eastern Caribbean is where we're going. So we want to get everyone on board. And so we believe that our case is strong. Just giving you the summary, because I think your question is so important, because we have strong evidence, strong legal arguments, strong advocacy from our team, and we have the bulk of OECS civilization with us. So we are making a case that the OECS policyholders have been discriminated against, and saying it, as many people have tried to do in the last, since 2009, what would that be, sort of like 11, 12 years, is one thing, but proving it is another. And let me tell you something, Blossom, to prove this case, we have gone from, just deep work with all our relationships everywhere, from Trinidad and Tobago to Barbados, to the countries themselves, to the case managers, to London, to the circuit courts in the United States. We have gone everywhere, to Geneva, to one of the leading law universities in international trade law, where we've gone twice and sat with professors to make this case, to London, where we've worked with our legal team. And I just want to say this morning to the policyholders listening in Grenada and those that have not yet come on board, that perhaps one of the greatest resources that we've had in helping to develop this has been a gentleman called, Mr. Gerald Thompson. Gerald Thompson was recognized as one of the leading international trade lawyers in the region, if not in the Commonwealth. He's done Trinidad and Tobago's oil and gas agreements, so many things as the head of legal and marine affairs. And he was instrumental in actually putting together in the working group the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas. So he was there when the treaty was being constructed. So he understands what was written, what was not written, really in terms of the revised treaty and how it comes together. And he was also instrumental in giving life to the court when he worked and put together a lot of the arrangements to actually entrench the court in Trinidad and Tobago. When he retired, he joined our team, and he's been really instrumental from day one in working with me on this, before anyone else really were believers in this matter. And unfortunately, he passed away 3 days after we all agreed that the case was now ready for submission. And the Grenadians, my Grenadian policyholders who are members, know him. He had a just large heart for the poor and for the elderly. And, this case has been made so strong by his involvement from day one. And, it would be just really important for me to say that loud and clear on every occasion that we get the opportunity that, we do miss him. And this case, you ask, what is our chances of success? Well, because we've had every single aspect of this matter tapped, we believe that this is the strongest case that we will ever have the chance to make. And we are asking all policyholders that haven't registered in Grenada to come on board. And let me tell you that we really want to get on board the institutions that really would have given up on this, and to sort of foster that. Particularly led by, Ambassador Thompson, who is no longer with us. We created a facility where you don't have to put any more funds down if you are, in fact, in distress. But for an additional 1%, you can take a facility where if the case is not won, you don't have to pay it back. Because we want to get, everyone on board. And what I'm saying here is that it's sort of a zero-risk financing because we want to get every single person on board. The reason we put that together is that there were so many elderly people, so many pensioners, so many people who had put all their funds in British American and CLECO in before 2009. Many of them are destitute. Many of them have difficulties going from month to month because of what has happened with cost of living, and also because they really felt that they could live on the interest that they would make from those facilities, which is not there. So for many of them, just getting the extra small amount, meaning about $150 to join, and then if you have $200,000 in investments, it's about $1,200. That's difficult for them. So this facility was created because Ambassador Thompson, myself, and others realized that it would be unfair not to have these people benefit from what we're doing by dint of the fact that they couldn't afford a small contribution because they'd fallen on hard times. So that this is a new facility, and therefore there is no reason why anyone should not want to come on board. And it's been used a lot in Dominica, in St. Vincent, and so on, where people have suffered from natural disasters and, of course, are rebuilding their lives. For us, this is really important because we want to get everyone on board. We want to speak loudly to the court that this is, in fact, a representative and largely representative body of policyholders coming before them seeking justice.
You mentioned earlier you're hoping to get about 80% of policyholders on board. What number do you think you're at now, and how can people register? What's the procedure to get registered?
In Grenada, we are close to, if not just past 80%, because we have an ongoing process. In Antigua, we're between 80 and 85%, and we have an ongoing process there too. So I think in Antigua, we may well end up around 90. Yeah? Many people have lost let me put it this way. Many families have lost the person who would have taken out the policy. And what we've been trying to give people the confidence and the knowledge of is that you can still, because you either are the executor of the estate, or this is your mother or your grandmother, and there is a policy, the lawyers in the countries are going to be in a position to assist with that. As with Grenada, where there are these circumstances, we have someone who is assisting us in registering persons who can direct you to the attorneys that will help you to sort of unravel how you can still file this policy so that your family can benefit from it. It may go into the estate, but at least you would be on the inside in terms of the actions that we've been taking. So in Grenada, I've given you the number. In Antigua, in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, people are registering now in droves. I couldn't give you the number there. In Dominica and the other countries, ditto. So this is a campaign which in those countries, outside of Antigua and Grenada, where we would have done this and closed off, and we've now reopened it because we want to give people a last opportunity to register. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia, Dominica, St. Kitts, Nevis, and Montserrat. It's the first time that we're opening, and the response there's been very, very strong, from credit unions to insurance companies to small firms to lots of retirees, some of them in the UK, lots of persons who've passed on, whose family members are now trying to ensure that whatever they would have been bequeathed with is not lost. Those are the kinds of things that's happening now. And let me tell you that this has been a very painful experience for the OECS civilization that needs to be remedied. Because as we go from country to country, we meet so many people who have been made that much more uncomfortable, who've been hurt as a consequence of this. We've actually taken the decision with a firm that's representing us that we have actually contracted to do all of this work for us across the OECS called Hiruna Media. A component of this, which is called Share Your Story. And there's some people who just need to speak. There's sometimes they're filming and they have to stop because people are breaking down. There are people who've lost their mothers. Their mother's last words would have been, look, make sure you get my money back. There are people who have not been able to send their wives to university, who have had to pull their kids out of college. There are people who couldn't afford life-saving surgery. There's so many cases where people have been impacted in a direct manner. And we believe that really it's a failure of the state institution in a particular country, and we're going to court so that the court can make a determination of this. It's important for me to say the following. We are not at war with anyone. We are simply trying to establish and to insist that we have rights which must be respected. So we're not at war with Trinidad and Tobago. We're not at war with the administration in Trinidad and Tobago. In fact, there's some things we cannot say. But what we are, in fact, at war with is with any action that would have disenfranchised us of our rights under the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas. And that is where our fight is. Our fight is to establish that we have rights as CARICOM nationals, which do not provide for one government to ring-fence assets that we've built up and use it as collateral to pay off their policyholders, while we, the policyholders who helped to build up those assets in other countries, are left without. That's all we're fighting over. And we think that this is a fight that is a just one. Let me say quickly that the amount of this which people have whistled at is over $800 million across the Eastern Caribbean. I did say $800 million. That's just about 20% short of what our annual budget on an average period over the last 3 years. So, it's a lot of money. That's the first thing. The second thing is this. We are doing this because we believe it needs to be done, because we believe that as OECS nationals, properly as CARICOM nationals, that we can't sit on our rights lest history judges us harshly. After all, with people dying when they have funds, which are still available, perhaps to be pursued through the court, for us to sit idly by and to allow those people to go without, to suffer from lack, is not something that we want history to record when we talk about the way in which this period was traversed, and particularly now in the context of COVID, where so many people have lost everything. We believe that it is doubly important. So it's both about the money, but also about the matter of rights. And as you know, Grenadians are extremely strong on their feelings and sentiments around the issues of rights. And we are only here talking about rights which exist in treaty, the rights that we should be treated fairly and in an equal sense. And that's really what this battle is about.
I remember when the entire situation just started, there was a conversation about who would be eligible to be a part of the lawsuit, how active you were when the collapse started, if you are still active. What are the requirements there? Let's say the collapse happened and I've stopped contributing. What sort of policy would it have been for me to be eligible to be part of the suit?
Fantastic question. Any policy where you would have made a deposit, where you would have made an injection, where you would have invested funds with the agent in Grenada or in any other country, because once you're a Grenadian, it doesn't matter where you invested it. Once you would have made those injections into BICO, and they would have given you a promise of a return, 8% in many cases, some cases 9%, in some cases even 10%. They would have given you a promise of a return after a fixed period, 6 months, a year, and you are eligible. And you are eligible once you have not been paid all of your monies back, because there have been two schemes where the first one was where the government's paid back persons, I believe, with an amount less than $30,000. Don't hold me accountable.
I think that was it.
Right. Mm-hmm. The second one is where you have funds in excess of $30,000. They would have you would have gotten a payment from the judicial manager, which would have been now about 14 cents on the dollar. So if you had $100,000, you would have gotten so far $14,000 back, which means that you have a balance that you have not been paid back of $86,000, not counting the interest. For anyone with a balance, any balance, no matter how small, that has been unpaid, you have a right, an opportunity, perhaps is the better word, to join this matter with us at Backall. And so many people who would have put their retirement funds of, $70-something thousand there, they would have gotten, some back. But for those persons, they would not have been paid the 30, they would have just been paid 14 cents on the whole thing. So that the bulk of their money would still be unrecovered. You have an opportunity and a right to join us. So that's really where it's at. Now, there are these matters of the pension funds that I know many people are concerned about. Here's the challenge. We are working on getting the evidence for these matters. And I have to say to some Grenadians when they reach out to us that, don't get upset with us because we are in the same position that you are. I am here because I am a policyholder. I am here because I believe that our rights have been trampled on. So we are working on this together. We are in this as policyholders together. Nobody's been paid a cent. In fact, truth be told, the amount of money is owed just to get to this point is just, mind-boggling. And this is where, of course, the contributions that the members make have gone to defray the cost, but not all. Everybody, I believe, who has been involved in this at one level or another, including the lawyers, are out of pocket. I didn't mean that they haven't been paid fees, I mean, they're out of pocket. And a lot of people have done this because they believe that this case needs to be heard, and they believe that they need to make the sacrifice to ensure that we can bring this matter to justice. So anyone who has what we call an executive flexible premium annuity policy, or just an annuity policy. And as you go across the region, Blossom, they call the same creature different things. So it's a fowl here, it's a turkey there, it's a duck there, but it's the same thing. And as you go across the region, it is quite interesting that this went on without sort of the due diligence from where we believe it should have taken place in many instances. But that's another matter. The point of fact is that funds were moved, there was a responsibility, and there are still very good assets that are performing that these funds built up, that the Trinidad and Tobago now has paternity over. And so the government of Trinidad and Tobago clearly, to my mind, because of the treaty rights, because they can choose, for instance, if the court determines that they are at fault, where they draw this from. They need not draw it from there, they can draw it from anywhere. But it's really a travesty that while the assets that we helped to build up are still performing, that we continue to be without the investments that we made. So that's really the issue. Who can participate? Anyone with a policy where you got a promise of a rate of return and you have a balance which remains on the injection, an unrecovered balance that you would have put in prior to the collapse in 2009.
Thank you very much, Dr. Antoine. I wish you all the best, and as well as the policy holders with these proceedings. And let's hope there's some relief for the policy holders. Appreciate your appearance this morning, sir.
Let me thank you and thank the staff of GBN and thank all of the people who put this together. Thank you ever so much. Have a great day.
Appreciate. Thank you so much. Backall President Dr. Patrick Antoine as they prepare to face the courts and bring forward a legal action. I believe it's an $800 million lawsuit in relation to policyholders of BICO and CLECO. So get in touch, get registered, and be a part of this regional lawsuit. Let's take a quick break, and then we are going to come back and join Just School Media for this morning's traffic cam. It's a milder traffic cam that we've had compared to the last 2 days. We'll be right back.
Imagine having the home of your dreams. Imagine investing in that piece of property you can call your own.
Imagine finally doing that home improvement project you've always been thinking about. It's time to stop imagining and start doing. Let the GUT Credit Union help you take the first step with fantastic rates, affordable repayments, and reduced legal fees. Make the move. Get better terms on your mortgage. Use your home equity to make those dreams a reality. Act now. There's really no place like home. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Hubbard's big promotion is back. Live free for 1 year. Spend $50 or more in any Hubbard's department and receive a chance to win big prizes every month. Property or vehicle insurance for 1 year. Free internet, cable, and data for 1 year. Free fuel for 1 year. Free cooking gas for 1 year. Free electricity for 1 year. Free drinks for 1 year. Extra cash account and the big free groceries for 1 year. Promotion runs from April 1st to September 30th, 2021. Live free for 1 year with Hubbard's in association with Solgas, Flow, Grenadian General Insurance, Carib Brewery, Coca-Cola, Grenada Bottling Company, Grenlec, Communal Cooperative Credit Union, Dutch Lady Milk, Promo, Danny, and Supreme. Terms and conditions apply.
My drone.
Let's now join Just School Media for this morning's traffic cam. It's a bit quieter to what he has been broadcasting over the last 2 days. He's in the sky this morning over the city of St. George, or as some people say, tongue proper. Let's hear what's happening on the outside.
Ships. So this is your Wednesday, the Wednesday after. That's all I'm going to say. Monday, which was a routine traffic cam, turned into 3 hours, 4 hours of live job. And yesterday we had something similar in St. Patrick's. But this morning is all about traffic on the road coming into the town of St. George. There's not much traffic this morning, this early morning. It's just a smooth flow of traffic in the town of St. George on this beautiful Wednesday morning. So welcome to all the viewers of GBN TV, the listeners of GBN Radio. It's Just School Media Traffic Cam on a Wednesday. For those of you who just joined, we are overlooking the bus terminal on Melville Street. Usually around this time of the morning, usually been a lot of traffic outside of the Melville Street bus terminal. As we say, Ash Wednesday, usually on our calendar of our activities, this is the Wednesday after Carnival. Or you can say the Wednesday after job, Tuesday and Monday. So such a beautiful country, but not much traffic in and out of the town of St. George this morning. If you're looking at the streets, the different streets, alleyways, not much traffic. Just a smooth flow. Peaceful morning, Wednesday morning in the town of St. George on the island of Grenada. Now we're overlooking Granby Street, and not much traffic either. Halifax Street, not much traffic either as well. Just a smooth flow of traffic, a quiet Monday morning in the town of St. George. Our beautiful islands. Yeah, some people may be sleeping still. So we gotta give God thanks for waking us up this morning. See Granby Street, not much traffic, not even, you see much people walking this morning on the streets of St. George. So it's a quiet Wednesday morning. And just reminding you, at Just School, we also do wedding, we do graduations, we do live streaming and video recording of our services all over Grenada. We also do real estate. So whatever your photography needs, you contact Just School on 473-409-1981.
now we're looking at Cross Street, not much traffic either. Just some traffic going up Canash Hill or Halifax Street to get out of St. George. Yes, we got to give thanks for life. What a beautiful view. What a beautiful view.
We seem to have had a break in transmission there from Just Cool. As I usually say, we don't always get the cooperation of technology when we want to. Hold on, let me see if he's back up yet. Okay, he's back up, Slokes. Go for Slokes. Let me get 2 more minutes, now, man. Slokey, I like the shots of tongue.
Yes, we got to give thanks for life. What a beautiful view. What a beautiful view.
Alright, Wi-Fi aka Wi-Fi won't let us be great this morning. So we're going to end traffic cam here this morning. I like seeing aerial shots, drone shots, aerial shots of Tongue Proper. Grenada is so beautiful. According to Just Cool, what a beautiful view. I like seeing aerial shots. It shows the expanse of the land. How big what's now? Expanse of the land, the beauty of the island, especially over the waters of the Carnage or even on the outside, on the western side of the island. I love seeing them. So I wanted to get a little bit more, but technology won't let us be great this morning. But don't worry, hopefully we'll be back up and running on today's Wednesday. So Monday, God willing, will be the next traffic cam. We do this every Monday and Wednesday, 6:45 a.m., bringing you different shots from across the island, a collaboration between GBN and Just Cool Media. All right, it is now 5.5 minutes on to 8 o'clock. Let's get ready to, let's end the visual portion of Good Morning Grenada here, and we will join the BBC for its 8 a.m. newscast. Thank you so very much for joining us on Good Morning Grenada, for starting your wonderful Wednesday off with us here at the GBN. Always appreciate your listenership, appreciate your viewership. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Some people are recuperating. I just hope you all were as safe as can be over the past 2 days of revelry. Lord, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, everybody. Bye, D. Bye.
Run. One James, one done. We go do this one like